Hard Truth, of course, is a movie that came out recently to some very interesting reviews. Now, of course, the main story revolves around the main character, Pansy, and her family, and the story of her sister, Chantel, and her family. So, of course, her sister has two daughters, and she has a son called Moses. It's very important, right? But the reviews are very kind of everywhere. So 88% on Metacritic, 7.5 out of 10 by IMDb, and 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, of course, the people have it 71%, so quite a big difference. Now, me personally, I have it a 6 out of 10. There are some good, there are some good, things. It really is, but ultimately, it kind of just falls off like instantly. I don't know how to say it right. So it revolves around a grumpy old lady, right? Pansy, who basically is a miserable old person, right? Always starting fights with people, complaining and all that stuff. Who clearly suffered, well, later on in the movie, you can clearly tell that she is probably suffering from depression, right? And she drives people away, right? And it's very obvious in the story that, let's just say the husband and the son, they probably don't like hate her, but like, let's just say they're starting to get on their nerves, right? And you could tell that the family's not the best, right? We've seen things about Moses, how he goes on these walks. He's always in his room with headphones on, very clearly showing that he wants to kind of distance himself, isolate himself from like the fights that his mom and dad have. But one of the things is he's 22. He's a grown-ass man. So, don't get me wrong, obviously, with assuming this is not a one-time thing. They've been doing it for quite a bit of time. Very clearly shows that it affected him a lot, right? Doesn't like talking to people and all that stuff. He doesn't like really interacting with people much, right? Mirrors a lot of stuff that real people go through. The dad is a plumber. Kind of not really an important detail, but whatever. The sister owns a salon. She has two daughters. One seems to be a runner, and the other one is like some beauty person, right? They work like in engineering new beauty products. This is a very funny movie. It's comedy drama, but it's an extreme of both. If you get what I'm trying to say, it's very funny in some instances. The people in the theater laughed. It was a pretty funny movie, but the drama, it gets depressing. Like all the laughs you had just goes away. You leave the theater not feeling good. There's some good acting, right? So it shows that Pansy, of course, is dealing with the loss of her mother, to the point where she's, like I said, trying to isolate herself with like constant complaining and stuff. And to be honest, it's very realistic. I'll tell you that. Like people in these reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, they're saying it's a great acting, a little too good to some degree. It gets depressing. I don't know how to say it. The first half is, obviously she's complaining, right? But there's some jokes in there. But the second half, it gets sad. You feel it. They let the scenes just play out. I guess you could say just raw, and you can feel it. And there's nothing more to say. There's great acting in here. Everyone really did a good job in portraying the character that they were playing, of course. But this isn't really a movie I would really recommend for the sole fact that it gets depressing. Like, especially to the people who probably can relate to these people. It's definitely not like anything. I don't even know why they even put comedy here. It's funny, but like, damn, it's depressing. It's constant bickering and all stuff. Don't get me wrong, when she does that, sometimes it's funny. But like with her family, it's just, damn. There's really no winner or any resolution in this film. It ended in such a weird note. So obviously, after giving their deceased mother some flowers, she says some very depressing things, and I'm like, damn, she's suffering from probably depression. Right? They go to the house, and she basically talks about how she's just tired. She basically, I don't want to say suicidal, but like she says straight up, just says, sometimes I just want to go to sleep and then never wake up again. which obviously is shown a lot in the movie where she just likes to nap. So it just adds a little bit more of the depressing thing, right? And how she basically just resents her husband because she claims that she only married him because she was forced to take care of her younger sister because their father left and like she needed like stability or something. But just like he never really did anything to like insinuate that, which I guess it's the point because she's like hurt and everything, so she's pushing everyone away. But the ending is weird. I don't get it. Right? If you want me to explain the ending, I might as well. So the husband like pulls it. Oh, but before that, they came back from the dinner for Mother's Day, right? Very depressing scene. And of course, there are some actual criticisms that she has for her husband because her sister asked him a very simple question. She says, "How's your mom?" And he doesn't respond, right? And then she like lashes out on him, which to be honest makes sense, you know. But at the same time, she always complains that he's trying to like meddle in her family business, which is weird because it's like, bruh, that's your husband, right? But it makes much more sense because you realize she never really, I guess you could say, cared for him, which is weird. But dude, this is a pretty depressing movie. I don't know. It's a horrible way to start the year, man. I thought I was going to watch something nice, a little bit sad, but you know, with some upsides. There is nothing. But besides that, the ending is weird. So after the whole fight, and she basically kicks him out of the room, he pulls his back at work where he is taken home by his assistant. He tells him to like call his wife, you know, to come downstairs to like help him and stuff. Uh, she never does. It ends in like with like I guess him accepting the fact that she's not coming down. I don't know, man. It's such a weird movie. It's a depressing, weird movie. I give it a 6 out of 10. It's such a weird thing. All right, so I'm gonna read some reviews here to maybe give a little bit better that I myself, you know, reviews that I agree with. But basically, what is it? Christian A. Great acting, but ultimately a very depressing story about a despotent, angry mother/wife who damages the emotional health of her family. There is no resolution. Spend your money elsewhere. I agree with this. Now there is some funny moments, so it's not all bad. But in terms of enjoyability, most people watch movies to escape reality. This is basically just reality. Like it's like the acting is like, and the acting and like the conflicts feel real, but like a little too real. Now I feel bad. I feel sad. Like what? And not in a good way either. Where it's like, oh man, I'm so moved. No, it's like, bro, I don't want to watch this movie anymore. And then and then Christopher G says, possibly the worst film I've ever seen. Goddamn. Hey, whatever you say, Christoph. It's not even Christopher, it's Christoph. Alright, so basically this other person, Gloria, talks about mental health, but the main point is that she doesn't like how it ended. Same thing here. I had no idea. They act a little too good. Exactly, this guy, the film yap. Christopher, now this guy's named Christopher. Christopher Lloyd, a brilliant performance by Mariani Jean Baptiste in Mike Lee's latest examination of blue-collar Brits. But do you really want to spend 97 minutes with a hateful, miserable abuser? That's basically it. Matter of fact, Christopher, you get a sticker of authentication. That basically just sums it up. There's some funny bits in here. It's a comedy and drama, but dude, it's so depressing. I don't know what to tell you. Like one thing I'm gonna say is that for this year, I will do it a little different. Instead of going through all the movies I watched, I'm going to put them all in a tier list. And the tier list is going to be don't watch, subscription only, a movie that, hey, if you have a subscription for like getting free movie theater tickets or whatever, by all means, it's worth it. Discount Tuesday and a full price ticket tier. This one sits at subscription. There's some good things in here, but like at the same time, it's not really a movie I really want to watch. It's very depressing. It feels, like I said, real. Like, really real. I'm just like, damn. It's a bit depressing. But, well, what are you going to do? Some people are into that type of movie. So, you can't do anything about that, right? But besides that, hope you enjoyed this video. The next big video, not the movie reviews, is, of course, going to be one of the wrestling ones, which is the best wrestler turned actor. And WWE 2008, SmackDown versus Raw, featuring the ECW. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next one.